Great job by Ogunbowale, who was the student speaker this year, and among those joining us now from the University of Wisconsin is the Badgers taking Chicago by storm. You see them dressed in some formal attire, and then a little less formally in the new Under Armour uniforms for the Badgers, so making that switch and breaking them out for Big Ten Media Day. Sojourn, Shelton, and Vince Biegel and Ogunbowale, the three Badgers who are here. And guys, welcome. Great to have you here, making the trip down from Madison. It's a different situation this year for Wisconsin than a year ago. You had a new head coach in Paul Chryst. I think there were a lot of unknowns for you guys a season ago. So tell me, what have you learned about yourselves and about your program and about your coach in the last year?
Well, I think, first of all, having Coach Chryst back for another year is awesome. He's a Wisconsin guy through and through. He understands what Wisconsin football is all about. So for him to be able to come back, have another go-around here this year with Coach Chryst has been outstanding. And we know what we expect from Coach Chryst, and Coach Chryst knows what to expect from us.
Just to piggyback off what Biegel said, Coach Chryst is an amazing coach. He's a player's coach. He pushes us in the weight room, pushes us on the field, tells us to strive for goals, and just totally as a team just pushes us to another level that we can know that we're going to be special. So having Coach Chryst is a plus.
And being the only offensive guy, I know, at least working with him offensively, how many great positions he's put us in to be successful on the field with his play calling ability. So that's one thing that we don't take for granted either.
Let's keep it on the topic of coaching, and I want to ask Sojourn and Vince, because you lost Dave Aranda. You guys were just tremendous defensively last year. You led the nation in scoring defense. Give us a sense now for Justin Wilcox. What's different? What's the same schematically, defensively? I
think for fans, expect the same. We know that as a defense, we're going to be special. Coach Wilcox, a lot of the calls and stuff are up the same alley. I'm at the same alley. A lot of things are still the same. Just a little bit of things are going to be different, with Coach Wilcox bringing his flavor to the team. But overall, as a defense and being dominant, I think we're gonna truly be special and the same as last year.
And to kind of piggy off what Sojourn said, it was an honor to play for Coach Aranda. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him and how he conducted his business. It was a fun defense to be a part of. But I think Coach Cox is a defensive guru in his own right, and Sojourn hit it on the head. Badger fans and Big Ten fans back home to expect the same thing from Wisconsin defense. Same 3-4, just different fun creepers on third down.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Your eyes are lighting up a little bit there.
It's some fun stuff for Biegel.
What I like about Coach Cox is he lets his playmakers and some of the best his better pass rushers go at it, pin their ears back and get after the quarterback.
Well, there was a lot of that under Dave Aranda, so I perish the thought of there being actually more of it now for you guys going forward. I'm sure the rest of the league isn't necessarily welcoming that with open arms, but the Wisconsin defense will still be strong schematically from what you guys are saying. Personnel-wise, Sojourn, I think it's interesting you look at that secondary, and essentially you're the lone wolf back there, and the main guy returning. There are going to be a lot of names that people might not know as well. Give us a sense of who could step forward and emerge alongside you in that defensive backfield.
So Derek Tyndall's played in a lot of big games, his 2 years there at Wisconsin. We got Natrell Jameson going to step in, Leo Musso in the back end and safety, Arrington, Dakota. A lot of these guys have played in some games. Now it's just a chance for us to just go out there and put it all together. I'm a big believer in, experience is big, but at the same time, as a player, you got to believe in yourself and understand that you can do it. You're going to see a lot of different things. It's like that at any level in football. A lot of things are going to be different, but at the same time, trusting your rules, the things that, your coaches have talked to you about, and just go out there and play. Have fun. It's going to be ups, it's going to be downs. Lean on each other to get through the down times, celebrate the fun times, and let's get this ship rolling, because it's going to be an exciting year for us in the back end, and I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Daria, let's turn our attention to the offense. And last year, I'm not going to ask you the question of, hey, what was it like to take over for Melvin Gordon? Because you've already, in a very eloquent speech today at the Big Ten kickoff luncheon, said you've answered that one a few times too many. But I will ask you this. It wasn't as productive a running game as Wisconsin is used to. In fact, the lowest average rushing total since the mid-1990s. Now, injuries were a huge part of that. We know how banged up the line was. Corey Clement was hurt as well. But give us a sense of why we should expect it. I assume you think it will be different. Why we should expect it to be different this year.
It definitely will. You know, like you said, our offensive line, we had a lot of different combinations with the O-line throughout the whole season. And we kind of saw towards the end of the season how they came together and they started to click. And that's something we're going to build off of with Coach Rudolph with the offensive line. But then also, I mean, we got guys coming back from injuries, like you said. We got Corey coming back healthy. We got Taiwan in the fold. And we got a good running back group. Shout out to the Dog Pound. We got a good group of guys in the backfield. So I'm looking forward to it.
Is that a motivating factor for you in any way, or do you just
Definitely.
put last year behind you and just say it doesn't matter?
I mean, we've answered the question a lot about not having a 1,000-yard back, and it does motivate us. You know, people look at it, the outside looks at our running game as kind of one of the weaker points of last season, you know, and so we're making sure that we correct that this season.
Give us some insight into the quarterback race. It seems like it's a two-man race with Bart and Alex.
Yeah,
what can you tell us about each guy?
We have a lot of confidence in both of them, you know, and through fall camp we're going to see, you know, who's going to be the number one, who's going to be the number two. But as of right now, I mean, both guys are showing great leadership throughout the summer workouts and being commanding in the locker room. And Bart's the one that has the on-field experience, but Alex, he's also has the capability to make plays, and we're going to get a chance to see that during fall camp.
I always think it's really interesting to ask the defensive guys for their point of view, because particularly coming out of spring, which is your most recent experience practicing as a team, you guys got an up-close and personal look at those quarterbacks because you had to defend them. So, Sojourn, I'll ask you first because you play in the secondary. What are the strengths of each one of those guys that you think could help you?
Well, I think both of those guys, starting off with Bart, I mean, Bart can make any throw. He's a quarterback that has a cannon. He knows what he's doing. Like Darius said, he has the playing experience. He's been in some games. He played in the Illinois game, you know, towards the end when he really stepped up and we needed him. But it's the same thing. Both of those guys just have to, you know, keep working, and they definitely will. In fall camp, we'll find out who's going to take the starting job, and whoever it is, we're going to get ready to roll with them.
And for me, it was just fun to watch Bart and Alex Hornibrook both develop in spring ball and kind of get their confidence. And like Darius and Sojourn really mentioned on, is kind of commanding the huddle and gaining that confidence was fun to watch. Not too much has changed for me from a pass rush standpoint. Both have a little wiggle to their game and can get out of the pocket and make plays with their feet as well, which a lot of viewers don't know back home. And either way, we have a lot of confidence in both, and we'll see who emerges this fall.
I have to ask you guys about the schedule. It is a little bit on the daunting side. It starts with LSU at Lambeau Field. And Sojourn, I know you in a practice up at Lambeau already have perfected, I guess, for lack of a better word, the Lambeau leap. We'll take a look at that. Here's the schedule, again, starting with that game against LSU in Green Bay. And then the Big Ten schedule is brutal. I mean, you look at those first 6 conference games, 5 of them are against 10-win teams from a year ago. Here's the Lambeau leap. How do we critique the leap, gentlemen?
Oh, I mean, I'm a Packer fan, and I've seen a lot better Lambeau leaps than that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Sojourn's a good friend of mine, but before we get to Lambeau, he's gonna have to fix that. I've seen better.
That wall is bigger than you think. I gotta give Soldier a 9 out of 10 on that one. Okay.
Okay.
That's a big wall.
That one.
I'm impressed. For a first time try, that was good.
Did you give it a try, Tara?
Oh yeah, we all tried it. And, mine was not as good as Sojourn's.
Oh really? Okay.
I mean,
so
I got to work on it too.
Right?
A lot of guys need to work on theirs, but we'll have it perfected before we get down there.
Let's get back to that schedule because it is really challenging. I mean, again, 5 of your first 6 conference games are against 10-win teams from a year ago, and the one that isn't was Nebraska. I mean, it's not like that's going to be an easy game. You have LSU in Green Bay. A lot of people are saying this precludes Wisconsin from winning the West, that the schedule is just too daunting. What do you think of when you look at that schedule, Vince?
I mean, I couldn't disagree more. When I see the schedule, I see a lot of opportunities for Wisconsin to put ourselves back on the map. And when I committed to the University of Wisconsin, this is the type of schedule I have in mind. Playing Michigan State, playing Michigan, playing Ohio State. These are the teams that we respect in the Big Ten. And obviously Iowa, Nebraska, and Northwestern, the list goes on. You know, you want to be playing the top teams in the Big Ten. When you're a big-time program like Wisconsin, you want to play these big-time schools. We have a tremendous amount of respect, and when these opportunities meets preparation, it's greatness.
Honestly, it's the same. I mean, you know, I know Dare and Biegel, them being kids from Wisconsin. I mean, me being from Florida, what other reason to come here? You're playing in every big game, possible. Having to go to Michigan and go to Michigan State and then going to Lambeau. It's gonna be a fun schedule. But at the same time, we as a team know that all we can do is work. And when that time comes around, be prepared and get rolling.
And a big thing I've noticed throughout the summer is just a sense of confidence. It's not, we hear a lot of the people on the outside saying how tough our schedule is, but a lot of guys on the team, we're looking forward to it and embracing it, and it's shaping up to be a special season.
And for you, the opportunity to play in Lambeau Field as a Wisconsin native, you mentioned it, your speech was tremendous at the kickoff luncheon. You talked about going from being a walk-on who didn't even have a roster spot in your freshman year to now being someone who represents Wisconsin at the Big Ten Media Days, who speaks at the kickoff luncheon. Your journey is really a remarkable one. What has been the most memorable moment that you've had where you've said, I can't believe that this is happening?
I have to say the first game we ran out of the tunnel. Me and Vince, me and Vince, we were freshmen the same year, obviously, and in our first game, we were both redshirting at the time, but we ran out of the tunnel. It was just such a surreal moment, to be a part of the fraternity, I guess you could say, of guys who've been able to run out of that tunnel with a helmet on. So that's what I would say is my best memory playing in Wisconsin, and hopefully us three get a chance to make more of this season.
Maybe there'll be more memories ahead. Give people who didn't hear the speech a quick sense of what your theme was.
Just me, like you said, taking advantage of the opportunities that I had, was going from being a walk-on, and then also just kind of encouraging us as athletes, but everyone else, to see people and not see differences. See everyone that see that we all are the same in many, many ways, and there's no need to look at the differences on the surface.
It's interesting to think about walk-on programs throughout the country, and there probably is no walk-on program that I can think of off the top of my head that has produced year in and year out contributors like you guys have. And you think about last year, the superstars on this team were walk-ons. Guys like Alex Erickson was an intramural player his freshman year. Why do you think it is, as someone who was a recruited player coming in, why do you think the walk-ons have had so much success at Wisconsin?
Well, it's Alex Erickson and guys like Joe Schober. A lot of people don't know that Joe Schober started as a walk-on, worked his way up through the rankings, and Daria can really attest to
Joel Stabbe.
Hey, Joel Stabbe.
It's amazing. List goes on.
The list goes on. I was a scholarship guy. I got offered a scholarship, but the amount of respect that even scholarship guys have for the walk-on guys is tremendous. We're a unit together, and we're a family, and whether it's scholarship or not, we treat each other the same.
It's special to see. Those guys come to work every day, and they push themselves to a whole nother limit. So seeing that from them at the same time pushes us as other players, just to know to come to work. Everybody doesn't have it as good as you, starting up, being out on scholarship. But guys like Dare, guys like Alex Erickson, they come to work, they push you on and off the football field, and you see why, they become the players that they are.
Big part of the fabric of Wisconsin football. Guys, it's been a lot of fun. Vince Biegel, Sojourn, Shelton, Daria Ogunbowale. Thanks a lot, guys. Best of luck this year, and we look forward to seeing you at training camp coming up in a couple weeks.
Thanks for having us on.